Hello. Oh, where is... Oh, jokes. Okay, I should be on. Hello, everybody. How's it going? Hope everybody's having a good weekend. It is, what is it? Is it St. Patrick's Day? I think it is. Hopefully internet is good. I don't know what happened. Download speed was okay, and then upload speed was like at a 1 or 2 megabytes, so hopefully it stays steady. I'm using my phone instead, and hopefully it's able to maintain it, so yeah. Open mouse. Yeah, it'd be... Well, we're gonna go through it together. And I did see somebody in chat go like, part 1? Yes, this is going to be a part 1er, since lip syncing and just even attempting dialogue can be kind of tricky and pretty time consuming, so especially if we're gonna try to lip sync it, so it's gonna take some time. So yeah, it's gonna be a 2-parter. I'm gonna say that for this part we're just going to be kind of experimenting with different mouth shapes for the character that we've designed, or that I've designed, like that ghost hunter kid, and then gonna try to knock out the key mouth shapes for the sentence that you guys have voted for, which is the I think that's a ghost. I think, is that what I wrote? I think that's what I wrote. I can't even remember my own what am I saying? My own dialogue that I posted. Is that a ghost? Okay, yeah, that's what I put out. Is that a ghost? So I'm gonna try to knock that out. At least the keyframes, without any audio. And then the next time we jump back into it, I'm going to record audio of my own voice. And then we're going to try to sync the keyframes to the audio. I don't know how well or whether we'll do it that way, because the problem with the lip syncing is that it can get a little bit annoying, just because you're basically listening to the audio track over and over and over again, and I don't want to drive you guys crazy by hearing me going like, it's a ghost, you know, because we're gonna be slowing down the audio. We're gonna be like working frame by frame. It's gonna be a lot of like kind of going back and forth with the audio. Yeah, it's gonna sound like a soundboard. It's gonna sound really auto-tuned and everything. So yeah, it would be a little wacky. So I don't know how exactly we'll do it, but we'll see how it goes when we get there. But for today, it's mostly going to be planning, kind of going through different mouth shapes and knocking out the key mouth shapes for that phrase of it's a ghost. But we're not going to be lip syncing today. Today is just going to be kind of map planning and figuring everything out. Yeah, so it's gonna be awesome. But hope everybody's doing well. And I gave up after the first 2 words. Yeah, lip syncing is, if you thought animation was tedious, lip syncing is almost like it's like a whole other thing as well. So it's can be quite tedious, because you're just scrubbing back and forth for hours of listening to the same audio dialogue, trying to listen to what it's saying and everything. And yeah, it can be quite a lot, unless you're doing it really simple. So I'm thinking like that's what I might try out as well, is just like walk over like what are some simple mouth movement and shapes, because you've probably seen a lot of animators, YouTube animators especially, that just do like an open mouth kind of thing, and then maybe we'll go over like the more complicated stuff, the stuff that maybe you're a bit more familiar with when it comes to like the Disney style or more like real, quote unquote, realistic. Yeah. Just got jump scared by Wally. That's funny. But yeah, hello everybody. Thanks for joining. Unfortunately, because I was trying to deal with the whole internet thing, I did not get a chance to look at the submissions for this week. So I think we still do have a few more weeks. So for those who don't know, we have a section here. Maybe I'll just quickly find one. We'll shout out one. Let me see. On our Discord, we have an art challenges tab. And this month's challenge is endangered animals. So let me see if I can find one. Oh, whale sharks. That's pretty good. I like that. Let's see. Which ones have been pinned? Which ones have Faye picked out? I see Evianon, you posted one. I don't know if you're here, but see that you posted one. Okay, let's see. Post. Here we have one. We'll just shout out one just because I did not get a chance to look for any because me trying to deal with the internet and everything. But on our Discord, for those who don't know, we have an arts challenge section in the community section. And every month we have a new challenge. And this month's challenge was endangered animals. So if you go to art challenges and then to monthly submissions, you will see all the stuff that our community has posted. And there's been some great stuff here. I do think like the whale shark has been like submitted in terms of like this animal, but this drawing seems like it hasn't been, and it's by Silvertail, and I think this is really cool. Really great composition. Really love the colors, and yeah, it's kind of sad knowing that like sharks get kind of hunted and everything. So nice for you to give it a little bit of an acknowledgement that that's happening. But yeah, this is what we do, and every week, usually at the beginning of stream, we shout out our monthly challenges. So yeah, this is usually how it goes, and this is by Silvertail, and this is what we would do. We would find images from our community, post it on our screen so you guys can see it, and then give a little shout out to whoever made it. So if you want to join the challenge, you still got all of March to submit your drawings and then potentially maybe get a shout out on our stream. So if you kind of want that or just want to post some like awesome drawings, feel free to do so. The community is very welcoming and lively. So yeah, I know I'm doing things a little bit out of order just so that I could like show that yeah, I did not get a chance to go through art challenges, but I guess now that I've done the little shout out, we will do the usual rigmarole, which is the whole introduction of who we are with a little speech, not a speech, but a little introduction so that you know who we are and what we're going to be doing today and all that we are as the school known as Wing Canvas. So hello everybody and welcome to our stream. If you don't know who we are Wing Canvas. We are a YouTube channel where we make art tutorial videos on tips, tricks, and drawing advice to better help our fellow art nerds and this art community of ours. But we aren't just a YouTube channel, we are actually an art school that originated here in Canada. We offer a variety of classes that range from drawing foundations to digital art to animation as well, and it's taught by our lovely instructors here, all kind of pretty much all across Canada in some ways. So if you've been wanting to improve your art and get feedback from one of our amazing teachers and artists, then I highly recommend signing up for one of our classes. This way you get feedback, draw overs, and more in-depth kind of critiques so that you know what to fix or adjust or all the different ways that you can improve. And if you'd like to support us further, we also have Patreon, where you will gain access to bonus perks such as feedback from one of our teachers here, recorded classes, file access to one of our class or stream demos, as well as emotes and members badges. We are also on social media, so be sure to check us out on Discord, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as, I believe, TikTok. I do think we have some shorts made by our media team that is also on TikTok. So this way, you'll never miss out on announcements, discounts on classes, as well as our live streams, as well as artwork that we make on stream. So once today is done, and I'm done doing all this animating, the GIFs and images, they will be posted on all our social media. So if you want to stay up to date on the stuff that we make, social media is a great way to keep track of like what's going on and what we're doing. So yeah, and that is it. So hope that all sounds good. And yes, summer is, I know it sounds so weird to say it because it's only March. We're only a quarter of the way through the new year, and it's like, yes, summer camps. So we do have summer camps coming up. I am leading the character design camp and the animation camp. Details will be further laid out, but if that sounds interesting, I will say keep an eye out for the announcements and all the dates and all that. Actually, I do think the dates are out. Let me check. Let's see. What day? Okay, so I think for now, Josh's ask. What? Oh, just ask or what? So character design is going from July 8 to 12, July 15 to 19, and then there's art or animation intensive that goes from July 22nd to 26th and July 29th to August 2nd. So if any of that sounds interesting, definitely check it out because it's like a great way to kind of go through all the intensive stuff that you need to know for how to do character design as well as animation. So if any of the stuff that we do here sounds good, guess what? I go even more in depth in the summer camps. Yeah, so yeah. Oh, is there a drawing fan? Drawing? I guess traditional drawing camp as well. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I do some traditional drawing. I don't do it as often as digital, but I also try to keep up some traditional because I feel like there's some good things to take away when it comes to digital stuff versus digital and traditional. Both offer two different things. So yeah, I feel like I've had this image up. So Silvertail, guess what? I don't know if you're here, but you got a really, really long shout out because I just kept your image out the entire time. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, that's kind of nice for you, I guess. Okay, so mouth movements. Let me take out one of my images so I know what we're gonna be going over. Just give me a sec. Kind of reorganizing my screen. I uploaded a good evening sun sim emulation meme. 4 days. Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds about right. You're late. No worries. It's all good. Oh, actually, maybe let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Did I change it? Let me see. Just give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna see if I can. Let's see. Because I guess what? I did a cleanup of the head turn animation. So I got a lot of people in the comments, and also Kevin went like, hey, by the way, I think this is what chat means when they say smug. So yes, I think I did misinterpret what smug meant. So I don't think I really quite got smug on the stream, but I did try to clean it up a little bit for the animation class. So on the animation class that I teach on Tuesdays, I did get a chance to clean it up a little bit, and this is what he looks like. Obviously there's no in-betweens. These are just the keyframes. I guess as a note, you shouldn't really clean up before you do the full sequence, or else you might realize you need to change something or you mess something up, and then it's like, oh well, I spent all this time doing a cleanup and everything. So it's best to leave cleanup for like the last part. But yeah, I did do a little bit of some cleanup, and I think it turned out pretty good. Got some, actually, I guess here, let's show what it looked like for stream. So this is what it looked like on stream. And then, and as you can see, I think I did more of like an aloof kind of a character. And I think some people were like, that's not smug. So I tried to change it based off of what Kevin sent me. Kevin sent me a GIF from Legend of Korra. I forgot what his name is, but it's that media guy, the showman inventor guy. He had like this smirk on his face. So I think that's kind of closer to what smug looked like. And then we got this one where I gave him a little bit of a smirk. It's maybe it's still not smug, but I try to get it as close as I can. So this is what he looks like now. So I kind of changed out the spacing and then gave him a little smirk at the end. So this is kind of what it looks like. So yeah, just a little update on the head turn, just to show like what kind of happened. So wow, so you guys who are attending the stream, you get to see what the cleanup looked like. A little behind the scenes look and everything. Okay, so for, I don't know if I need, let me see. Ooh. Hold up. Okay. I don't think, so, as I was saying, we're going to be doing a mouth movement and mouth shape breakdown. So, let's say, I'm just going to write mouth shape breakdown. Ugh. Almost as pretty as you. Wow, okay. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you for the kind cleanups. Okay, mouth shape breakdown. You'll just have to ignore my doctor handwriting. And what I'm gonna do is we're just gonna walk through what are the different things just to keep in mind when doing a mouth shape breakdown in general. So if you guys are used to kind of watching a lot of YouTube animators, because, you know, animation, especially when it becomes more of like a real thing to try to pull off, it's very time consuming and it can be quite costly just because it takes so much time to learn and to do. Hey, Cadeword, and hello everybody who's coming in. And so when it comes down to, let's say, YouTube animators, and this is nothing against YouTube animators, they don't have quite a big team, they might not have as much time or enough budget to pull off like a full like talking sequence. So usually they end up just sticking to very straightforward, simplified mouth movements, some that you're probably all very familiar with. And so we're gonna start off this stream by going over just some like basic, I call it basic. I mean, I'm saying basic, but it's not in like a bad way. Obviously, like this is like very useful and whatnot. So we're gonna call this basic mouth movements. And so you probably can already tell what this is going to be. It's kind of, yeah, what Kevin brought up, the whole mouth flaps aspect of it, where it's just very straightforward. It's just open and close. That's it. And so then all you have to worry about is just making sure that the mouth opening and closing kind of matches and lines up with the audio and what's happening with the movements. So we can kind of get away with a big, nice, open, maybe I'll try out a different brush. Big, nice, open mouth movement. And the thing with like motion and movement is that it's all in the perception of contrast. I don't know if that made any sense at all, but it basically means that the bigger the contrast, the easier it is for us to spot it. So that's why it's very easy to be cartoonier. It's a bit easier to have like really big changes in shapes and this way our eye catches it way easier. That's why in animation, usually for Disney, they stick with really big facial features, really big eyes, and really simplified just shapes when it comes to like the body and the face shapes and the head shapes and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why is because it's way easier to just notice the change from this to this, where the mouth is closed. If your eye is constantly seeing 1 to 2, it's like, oh, okay, they're opening and closing their mouth. It's super easy to notice. It's really easy to catch. So therefore, we know that they're opening and closing their mouth, and it's super like simple, and we get the point. Super simple, super easy. If you want to, you could add an in-between of like it almost closing, like a slight in-between. Maybe it's like slowly closing. Maybe something like this. So you have 2, and then this becomes 3. But I feel like the 2 is kind of unnecessary unless you really want it to be smooth. But I feel like you can kind of get away with just having 2, especially if you're doing very, very, very simplified mouth movements. Having that extra 1 doesn't really make much of a difference, unless you really care about it being that much smoother. But it really doesn't really do too much. What about if the character is side profile? Well, I guess if it's side profile, well, I guess let's give that a shot. We'll give it a simple nose. Then it might be something like this. You might have a very open mouth, very exaggerated, and when the mouth is open, our jaw open, it kind of unhinges. Our jaw is kind of like on a hinge, but it can also kind of move up and down a little bit. So depending on, again, on your style and how realistic you want to be when it comes to mouth movements, it might change the way you approach it and everything. So like, let's say this is the guy, this guy's talking, he's like, wow. You know, this could be like, wow, and then the next one would be just him going like, and then it would just be closed. So it's that contrast because it's such a big change in space and direction and movement. It's a very clear change of like negative space, because here it's like open. That's a big gap. And then after that, it closes instantly. It shuts. That's a pretty big contrast. That's a big change. And because there's a large change there, our eyes just instantly understand what it's like, basically. So this is the simplified version. And even though it's simplified, because it's simplified, you only really have to just time it kind of rhythmically in with your sound. So if someone's just saying hello, then it would just be hello, hello. You know, you can kind of get away with it just being open, closed, and maybe open again, or you just keep it closed. It's just like 2 movements, open and then closed, and that's it. Especially if it's really cartoony, our brain has this ability to have a suspension of disbelief. The cartoonier something is, the easier our brain is able to just kind of roll with it. So let's say suspension of disbelief. This is when like we kind of just go along with something that's like not realistic, but we're like, oh, okay, you know what? That's okay. I'm just gonna roll with it because it's not meant to be taken seriously, or it's not meant to be super realistic. So even though it's not like realistic, we understand that that's not the goal, so we kind of just roll with it. So it's kind of what's happening here with basic mouth movements, is that it's very simplified, and if the drawing is really cartoony, even though the mouth movements aren't moving realistically, you kind of just like, oh, okay, that works. I get it, you know. Hey, you can't see me talking to my mirror. The mirror is in front of me. So also, My hair, I don't know. I woke up and my hair was like all over the place. So you probably don't want to see how my bed hair looks at this moment. Yeah, actually, it's a good thing I don't have my camera on, because then when we do the lip syncing, it's just gonna be me just moving my mouth, going like, ah, yeah, you know, just kind of moving my mouth in weird shapes and movements and everything. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Actually, yeah, that's a great example. Our PNG tubers are simplified enough that it's just an open and closed movement. So if you look at how my character's opening and closing their mouth, it's just open and closed, and that's it. And we interpret that as talking because that's all that's really needed. So that's just the basic mouth movements, just opening and closing, and then timing it with your audio. That's all you need. We're able to roll with it because the art style is cartoony and simplified enough that it's good. So what about a more complex mouth movement and like all the different complexities that comes with the English language and all the different sounds that we're able to make with our mouth? Well, that's where we get a little bit, let's say just a little, we'll call this a little more complicated. Because guess what? Lip syncing and mouth movements, it's a whole thing to get into, because the fact is that mouth movements is kind of also tied in with performance, who your character is, how exaggerated or how subtle they are. So not everybody talks the same, not everybody moves their mouth in the same way, and performance is also a big part of how someone talks. So it's a little bit more complex than just I open mouth and therefore I am talking, and then I close my mouth and that's it. So the more complicated you get into it, the more you'll have to delve into the performance side of it and the art of it. So yeah. Sticking out their tongue, yeah, I mean that's also a whole thing too. Like, how do you use all the parts of your face to convey something? So yeah, a little bit more complicated. Obviously there's still a little bit more to it, but best way to kind of think about it is like, okay, in the English language, this feels like I'm going through like kindergarten. It's like, hey, what are the vowels, guys? So let's go through the vowels, and you'll notice that we make most of our open mouth sound with our vowels. So our vowels are A, E, I, O, U. Hopefully this is like sometimes Y. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll put that in. Y. So this is like a great way to start, and let's kind of just go through it. So A, how do we say A? A is, okay, this is why having a mirror in front of you is great, because I can just look at my mirror and take a look at what my mouth movement looks like when I say A. So when I say A, my mouth is kind of like this, and it's kind of smiling a little bit. So it's doing something a little bit like this. And I can see a little bit of my top row of my teeth, and I can see my tongue over here. So that's kind of what's happening when my mouth is open and I'm saying the letter A. No, that's all good. It's all good. Glad you're able to join us though, no problem. Okay, and then we got E. Now E is very similar, I'm finding, to A. It's just that maybe mouth is a bit more stretched and it's a little bit tighter, and my teeth are kind of there. They're kind of making this closed mouth teeth look to it. So it's like E. And then when we say A, it's closer to like A. And it's like E. How are you? I'm doing pretty good. I have a little bit of a ice milk tea next to me. Went to go get some Chinese noodles, and it came with iced milk tea, so that's always a win. And then I is pretty much open completely. So if I make an I movement, I sound, my mouth kind of does this. I, and maybe you could kind of see a little bit of my tongue. And it's pretty much like a gap in space underneath. Is that fancy, Kevin? I mean, like, it's all right. It's all right. It's like I feel like it's the accessible kind of. It's always like, you know, it's not going to be super expensive, but it's always good, you know. O, and then we got the O sound. Now, O is interesting because this is like our pursed lips. And depending on like the O sound that you make, it might be very like pursed, like tighter, and then you might, or it might be a little bit. It could be like a O, you know, kind of sound. So you got A, E, I, O, U. U is definitely like way. It's almost like whistling mouth movements. Here. Got A, E. Here, I'll draw the upper and lower lips so we can kind of tell. It looks like a little bit like a kissy face. And then Y. Y is very similar to I. Maybe not as open, like a U shape. It's kind of closer to like E, where it's stretched out a little bit. So here we go. We have the breakdown of the vowels. So we got A, E, I, O, U. These are our basic mouth movements. And let's see, what's next is we got a lot of closed mouth movements. So usually it's a lot of like the B, M, P, F, T, and V's. So I guess we won't do it for all of these because, yeah, it's a little bit monotonous and it's a little bit too kind of boring in a sense. But hopefully you get an idea as to like these are the things that you kind of want to keep an eye out for when it comes to all the sounds that we make. The sounds that we make with the English language. And then our teeth sounds, meaning our tongue coming in contact with our teeth. So now we have the, was it N, D, L, and TH. You might be like, man, that's a lot to memorize. Holy smokes, that's like, how am I supposed to know all these sounds? And truth of it is that I don't know if any of you guys have a mirror, but if you look in a mirror or if you have a camera or I guess your phone next to you and you turn on the camera and you look at the way you talk, you'll notice that our mouth is actually barely open when we enunciate our words or when we speak. Like if I say hello, you'll notice that your mouth doesn't actually go like hello. You know, it just goes like hello. And your mouth actually almost never moves at all. So that's where that whole performance thing that we talked about comes into play as well, is that it kind of all comes down to the performance. Whoops, that's bad. Bad writing. The character and how they talk. Cotton Eye Joe. Cotton Eye Joe. I mean, so that's the funny thing is like when I say Cotton Eye Joe, the only real strong movement that I can see my mouth make is this. My mouth kind of like barely opens and then it just makes the ooh sound for the Joe. Cotton Eye Joe. My mouth moves up and down, but it never closes because all that closing sound comes from the tongue hitting our teeth. So it almost makes it look like our mouth never closes. It's like a really interesting thing to consider and think about when you're doing lip syncing and talking, because you'll notice that in our heads, we like to, oh, maybe I should draw every single sound and every single letter. But in reality, if you ever have a mirror and just look at the way you talk and try not to overperform and just talk normally, you'll notice that your mouth doesn't move too much. Do you take accents into consideration? Different dialects, language, pronounce words and syllables very differently. I would say accents probably not, but again, this comes down to, yeah, like everybody's going to talk a little bit differently depending on where they're from or just what their personality or character is like. And that's where the whole kind of like research part of it comes in. You're going to have to be like, okay, how does this character talk? If they have an accent, how does that accent change the mouth movement and the shape of it? So if we take all of this into consideration, like all the different mouth movements and everything, I would say the ones that are really important are really just the super open mouth one, the ah sound, which is what we're going to be using for our character when we say the ah, is that a ghost or whatever I wrote. We got the ah, and then we got the e sound where our mouth stretches. You can have the e where it's a open mouth, or you can have the e sound where it's an e, but your teeth are kind of close together. Maybe something like, like that. And then you have the closed mouth where it could be kind of just completely closed, or it's that one where you roll your lips in for like an M sound kind of thing. And then you got the pursed lips. So I guess I drew this a little bit too big, but the last one you'll have is the ooh sound, So we got the, how did I draw this? I drew it on my example. You can kind of do it like this, like it's just an ooh, or this is just a dot, or you can have it be a little bit bigger and be like a ooh, like an oh sound. It's a little bit different from ah, because ah, you might show your teeth and you might see your tongue, but like an ooh sound, this could be like an o, there's like a ooh, but like high pitched, and then there's like a oh, but low pitch, so it's going to be a little bit different from the ah, because ah, you're exposing your teeth, you might expose your tongue, whereas the ooh sound is a little bit more, you're pursing your lips, and so you never really you might not see your tongue and you might not see your teeth. So I would say like this is kind of like your starting sounds. I like all the those like emotes you have there, Kevin, or those icons there. Yeah, I guess that's what we're gonna be doing. It's like ooh. Yeah, like simplified mouth movements, and I think like a lot of YouTubers for animation and story time, they basically just flip between this. Because their head shapes are very simplified and it's like straightforward, they don't really turn the heads or anything. You can kind of just switch between these and create some words. Because again, like what I was saying is that if you really look at how you talk and how the mouths move, your mouths don't really do too much. So you really just are kind of going like, okay, do I want number 1, 2, 3, or 4? And then you go like, okay, and you just mix and match. And you just kind of mix and match a bunch of them, time them differently, and you got a mouth movement and you got a whole lip syncing situation going on. So these are just like the very, very bare bone basics of talking. Obviously, you also have like very exaggerated mouth movements where you have someone who just is going like this versus someone going like this. We got the, that, I always forget this artist. I know, don't judge me, I'm an artist, I know this art piece, but I don't know the guy who made this piece. Both of these could make the same sound, but they're very different shapes. One of them is very exaggerated, and the other one is like lower. Both of these could be an ah kind of sound, like an ah, and then this one could be like ah, kind of sound. Both shapes or both sounds are the same, but how you push and pull the face and the mouth shapes can really affect and change how the viewer perceives what is happening. And actually, this is why it really annoys me when I sometimes see animation and the mouth shape doesn't quite match the intensity of the voice. The guy might have like a really intense sound, like he's like very into it, he's exaggerated in how he's talking, but it's this mouth shape because they just maybe didn't have the time to draw another, I don't know, facial expression for the video. And it's like, I get it, you don't want to draw another one, but I don't know, it takes me out of it when like the lip syncing and the audio, like the animation image doesn't match, and it's just like, I don't know, that feels weird, you know. Yeah, lip syncing, I feel like a lot of it is also a little bit of tweening and just playing around with like the morphing and warping tool too. So I feel like that could help. But if we're doing like hand-drawn animation, just like maybe flipping and switching certain like animation mouth movements, like having a model sheet of different mouth movements. Yeah, oh my goodness, Quinn, I was just about to say that. Using a model sheet for your mouths would be really useful because then you don't have to redraw it over and over again. You can just either copy and paste it or just redraw it and then warp it to what you need it to do. So yeah, it can be there's no like hard rule on how to exactly approach mouth movements, as long as you understand that talking is basically just opening and closing mouths and just timing it, and then understanding all the different complex movements that can happen on the mouth, then it's not too hard. The hard part is timing it and obviously matching the mouth movements to properly match the audio. That's where the really hard part comes in. The AOT voice actors, yeah, for sure, they're giving it their all with the shouting and everything. I would be such a good animator if I did it. I feel like that's how we all think. We're like, man, if only I actually went through with animating, I'd be amazing. Okay, so now that we've gone over that, what I'm now gonna do, since this is only a part 1, is I'm gonna bring in our lovable guy hunting character. Let's see where. Let's see, import layer, and let's bring in our dude, guy hunting character. Yeah, Kevin, our guy hunting character. Don't judge. Let me see. Is this a new edition of Josh Landlore? What? What? Josh Landlore? What is that? That makes it just sound like landlord. I'm a landlord. Let's see. Actually, why did I bring in this one? I guess I don't really need this one. So I'm bringing this in just so that we have a little reminder as to, maybe I'll make the canvas a little wider because I think we're gonna run out of space a little bit. Gonna make this a bit bigger so we have it on the side. And oh, the penguin and the lynx. Yeah, that one, man, that's a flash from the past. Let's see. Huh. Oh, did I not save? The individual head shapes? Oh, maybe I... Oh, wait, no, I did. Okay. I'm gonna bring this one in, just because this one's a little bit more expressive. You know, every time we draw more and more of this character here, I get a little bit better at understanding like who is this character. And yes, did I forget his name? I did forget his name. Don't judge. I forgot his name, okay? The character that we created together, I forgot his name. My bad. Okay, so this is our guy right here, and you can see that like over time, as we've spent more and more time drawing him, we've been developing him a little bit more and more as we go. So, yeah. Do we remember what his name is? Let me see. What did we name this guy? Let me see. Name. I will rely on my notes. Let me see. Did I even give him a name? I didn't even write his name down. Oh, I did. Wait, Nils. Yeah, okay, we named him Nils. Yo, someone put some random name and I was like, that sounds like, what is it, Quinn? Yeah, you put Quinn, or, oh, you're just commenting Quinn. Kevin, I saw Quinn, I was like, we named him Quinn? I don't remember naming him Quinn. But his name is Nils William Bjork? Andros? Or is that some like extra name maybe? I don't know. But Nils. Okay, that's what we named him. Niles? He's in denial. Nils Bjork. Yeah, something like that. Ninjago is Lloyd? Maybe. Man, Ninjago. It's crazy to me that Ninjago is still a thing. Like, it's still a thing that goes on that, like, people are watching. That's, like, crazy to me. Which is pretty cool, I guess, you know. I would... Because, you know, Bionicle never lasted that long. So I'm like, how come Ninjago keeps going, but not Bionicles, you know? You know what I'm saying, Kevin? Kevin knows, because Kevin grew up with Bionicles too. I'm guessing you grew up with Bionicles too. Yeah. It does have a staying power. I wish they brought back Bionicles. That's childhood right there. Okay. We'll do some mouth shapes. We'll call this mouth shapes. And I don't think we'll animate it, but you know what, just for the sake, just in case, I'm gonna put this as 1 and we'll put it as 30. I don't think we're gonna be animating necessarily today. Mostly today is probably just gonna be some mouth shape breakdowns. Okay, so let's see, where is my brush? Okay, we're doing the line. Let me just confirm what the line is, because I don't know why I can't remember what I wrote. Is it it's a ghost? Is that okay? It's is that a ghost? Is that a ghost? Okay, so our line is is that a ghost? So we're doing a little bit of planning and kind of a little bit of, how should I say it? A little bit of brainstorming as to how this should all kind of function and work. So that's what we're going to be kind of doing. So, yeah. Is that a ghost? Thank you, Kevin. Bionicles did go hard. They were so good. They created so many variations, and like I feel like every variation was so cool, you know, except for maybe the Baroque. Those are kind of interesting, but they moved so cool. Like the way the Baroque the ball ones, those ones moved in such a cool way. Where it's like, man, I don't know. I haven't played with Legos in so long, so I don't know if they're still like that. But yeah, okay, we're doing is that a ghost? So I think I'm gonna stick with 3/4 just because 3/4 for me is a little bit easier to draw. I'm gonna go back to maybe using this brush and make it really big so I can draw on it easier. And then we're going to draw a character with the different mouth shapes. In a way, this is again going back to the whole expression model. This is our way of exploring our character and how this character looks and such. So actually probably won't need the timeline for today's stream. So okay, doing it's a ghost. So we're gonna do basic head shape for now. He's a special little guy. Okay. You're a ghost hunter. It's definitely a ghost. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of break down really quickly, roughly, what the mouth shapes are gonna look like. Because this is like a rough breakdown, I'm not gonna do anything too over the top. We're not gonna go too detailed, or else it'll be like we're drawing too much. We're gonna be drawing too much. So I'm just gonna be analyzing and figuring out, like, when he makes an shape, what will that look like? And so this is very similar to when doing a model expression sheet, because we have to figure out like how this character is gonna look like when they make different expressions and different mouth movements. And this is where your anatomy of the head is gonna come into play, because it's like, okay, the mouth has to unhinge so that the mouth can open wide. It's like, probably going to be a stretched face. Maybe like something like this. Oh yeah, no worries, Flighty Feather. Yeah, it was great to that you were able to join us. I named one of my characters after books. Oh, that's interesting. What have you named one of your characters? Micah. It's like, is it like all the Isaiahs and Micahs and Ezekiel, Esther and would it be Micah or Misha for that one? Esther's cool. Micah? Okay. I think like Ezekiel is like a cool name. You know, you can name your next character like an Ezekiel. Is it Meek? Or is it Meek? Oh, and that's also like I feel like for your body would go back. So this is where the whole performance part of it comes in. I think we're gonna have him like lean back. The head shape, maybe something like this. So we're doing a lot of exploration here. It's pronounced Micah. Okay. I'm drawing my two angels. Mirabelle. Oh. You know, I never realized how much people love the whole like biblically accurate angels. Every time we put out a poll and biblically accurate angels is like an option, that always seems like the one that wins. And I'm always just like, I would have never seen that coming. Like, what? Why is that the one that everybody keeps voting for? Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just like surprised that that's usually the one that wins when we put it out as a poll. I'm like, oh, people love the biblically accurate one. People love the funky design. Oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that kind of checks out. Yeah, we're doing it really simplified. So I know it looks really rough, but what I want to get down is just like getting a feel for the mouth shape as well as the head shape. Because once you make these like really big expressions, the mouth really distorts, and it's like trying to see what the mouth will look like. And I like to go about it really simplified in this way, just so that it's easier to break down like things like spacing and how the eyes might look and like the shape of the face and everything. So yeah, we're going for the Tintin look right now, just for now, because I just want to figure out like what this character might look like when making this expression and the overall spacing of it rather than going all detailed. And it's lucky that right now I'm wearing a hoodie. Showing your age, Josh? What? What did I say? Funky design? Oh, that I don't know about like biblically accurate age. Hey, I feel like I'm always showing my age, Kevin. I'm always just like, what is this? Oh, Tintin showing my age? Oh. Hey, you know what? Tintin's like a classic. You know, it's not that old. Everybody knows Tintin. I'm actually trying to like make sure like you guys can still hear me, because I have to like do the pose in the mirror as well and like just quickly get what I might look like. And it's weird. I'm like contorting my body a little bit. You know, trying to quickly just draw it so I have an idea as to how this will look like. I feel like every time I draw him, he gets a little older and older. Where is it snowy? I mean, it was hailing a little bit a while ago, but or maybe we have him, one arm is like right by his body, the other one is like this. Something like this maybe. It's like a maybe might show the teeth a little bit. Have the tongue there. Like the kind of look going on. Luckily we have, this is a two-parter, because yeah, lip syncing, it's hard to do in 2 hours, especially while trying to figure out like what this character might look like while doing this pose. So it's good that we scheduled this as like a two-parter. During the Temu reaction. I did not watch the Super Bowl. Also, us in Canada, we do not get the Super Bowl ads that our fellow neighbors to the south gets. So unfortunately, I don't know if I watched the Temu ad. I know Temu had an ad, but I didn't watch it. I did not check it out. Or maybe we bring the hood higher and the shoulder higher. Yeah, when I'm doing animation planning, I'm usually drawing really rough, just because trying to get the feel of the rhythm, feel the circadian rhythm, you know. As I'm, no, I'm just kidding, but trying to capture the rhythm of the movement rather than trying to you know, trying to capture the rhythm and the movement rather than trying to get too caught up on the details and everything. Oh yeah. So here's the thing about like the wrinkles. I would say like it's a little bit of a stylistic choice, because sometimes if you add the wrinkle, it can make the character look really old, and it's like a delicate thing. Yeah, I would put it like maybe here in the corner of the mouth, but if I add it like here, like it could work if you're going for that really like this almost like flabbergasted look, but it can make it look really make the character look way older than maybe needs to be. Yeah. But good point, Venomize. It's a good thing to point out. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I just got an ad for the McDonald's anime, and I'm so confused by the McDonald's ads. So like, if I want those McNuggets, do I just order a normal like order of McNuggets, or do I go like, hey, I want the McDonald's McNuggets? Like, the Japanese, okay, like it's this new promotional and it's like really cool, but I'm so confused as to what I tell them. Do I go like, I want the McDonald's McNuggets, like with a W? Because their whole ad is like, their whole ads is like, we are McDonald's. I know this is a tangent, but I'm honestly so confused by this. Their promotional is like, we are McDonald's, not McDonald's, you know? And I'm like, so how do I order this? If I go to the drive-thru, or if I go up to the cashier to order, do I say McDonald nuggets, or do I just go like, I want McNuggets like normally? Because their promotional got me so confused. You start speaking the Mandarin, see that. I feel like it'd be Japanese. Like I start speaking to them in Japanese, and be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. You want the promotional? You spoke to us in Japanese. You get the promotional." Okay, I don't think I'm not gonna have the belly go this way, because I think this is more of like a standing pose. And actually, I think I want the hand to be a bit more foreshortened, kind of maybe looking off. And then maybe we might not even see this hand. I don't know. Might not, yeah, we might not even see the hand. You know, the hand might be like here. I don't know. I don't know. But this is like the fun part of animation, I would say, is like the exploration of the performance. Because, you know, you don't necessarily have the answer right in the beginning. You're kind of feeling it out. You're getting a feel for what it should look like, or what it might look like, you know? Can I get a number 5? Do you order it in Yeah, you know, like maybe if you have to order it in Japanese. If you don't order in Japanese, you don't get the McNuggets. It's a Wick. Yeah, I'm honestly so confused. Like, it's cool marketing, just because, like, I like how McDonald's decided, hey, let's lean into our anime fandom demographic over there, kind of thing. You know, let's lean into it. But then at the same time, I'm just like, wait, but what is this? Is it different? Like, what do I say to order it if I want these special McNuggets here? You know, like what do I say? I'm so confused. Yeah, it worked, but I'm just now afraid. I don't know what to order when I go up to them. They're like, what do I say to you? I want the McNuggets, but the Japanese ones that I saw on my YouTube ad. You don't order. You don't. I mean, you know, in a way, it kind of works. I feel like it kind of. That's kind of what it's like, you know. Okay, we got I feel like his face might be a bit too long, but I feel like face shapes are always one of like the hard ones, just because it distorts the face so much. And then you can also have like do the cheeks push up on the eyes, and then if you add wrinkles, it makes it too, you know, realistic and too old. So I think this is like maybe a good place to start off with. This is going to be our movement. We're basically going to be storyboarding this in a way. Going to put this as 1, and we're going to have, actually, you know what? Going to move it over here. I know this isn't great for animating, I know, but let's actually, nah, we'll do that. I'm so indecisive. It's like, yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. No, never mind. We are gonna do that. Okay, because this is maybe it'll make it easier to show you guys, and you can see like the progression. Is that a ghost? I just want the McDonald's. If it's in animation style, yeah. Okay, I feel like this is a controversial take, but I can't play Final Fantasy VII in English. It it completely throws me off. I can only play it in Japanese, and I feel like I flipped back and forth between the English and Japanese to see which one I prefer, and I just can't play it in English. The like I get it, that's just how the writing and the voice acting, some of the charm comes from it, but it throws me off so much playing Final Fantasy, like the 7, like the remake one in in English, and I feel like I'm in the minority. I feel like everybody plays it in English, at least in like North America. But I'm like, I can't play it in English. Someone, I do need my McDonald's. But my McNuggets. Yeah. Next time I stream, I'll tell you guys how it went. Okay, I feel like for this one, he would lean in a little bit. So we're gonna have him lean. Maybe even the head is off to the side a little bit, just to give it a little bit of personality to it. And okay, so this is where the whole performance side is. So if I went like that's a pretty E-shaped kind of mouth movement. With the Japanese audio. Yeah, it's just, I feel like the voice, again, nothing against the voice actors, because the dialogue, I get it, is also very like campy and kind of, it's meant to be a little bit like over exaggerated and corny in a way. And I feel like it just works a little bit better in Japanese. And maybe that might just be the fact that I understand that way of performance and talking when I'm watching anime. So when I hear English actors do it, it just doesn't feel normal or natural. I don't know. Might not make any sense, but I've just been playing Final Fantasy Remake in Japanese just because I feel like it's a bit more it feels more normal. It does mean I have to constantly look at the subtitles and the screen, and it's a way harder playing a video game in Japanese dub, because you're like trying to keep up with like what's happening on screen, but also maybe you have to look at your controller, or not look at your controller, but pay attention to like maybe action prompts or like stuff characters, the side characters are saying on the side, and it's just like I can't keep up. There's too much happening on screen. Yeah, I think it's just that like English is like my like go-to language like when speaking, and I understand how English is performed when it comes to like movies and shows. So when you hear it like being performing like Japanese like writing, which is a little bit different from like English writing, just in terms of just like the cultural differences and everything, and performance expectations a little bit different, the way we exaggerate things are a little bit different. It makes it so much, it makes it a little bit harder to have that suspension of disbelief that we were kind of talking about when it comes to like hearing English actors performing like very exaggerated Japanese dialogue and writing. But sometimes it works, like Cowboy Bebop I think really works. I feel like Samurai, actually I don't think I've ever listened to Samurai Champloo in English before, but maybe I'll have one eyebrow. He's like inquisitive. He's like, is that a ghost? So it should be like raised eyebrow. Is that a ghost? Actually, I think I raised my other eyebrow. So I'm gonna do this. And the eye is going to be squinting because he's asking a question. He's like, is that a ghost? Okay, he doesn't sound like that, obviously, but you know. Just learn Japanese. Wow, what an easy answer, Kevin. Just learn. Just learn it. Just learn Japanese. Oh man, Kevin. Why didn't I think of that? I should have just... All my problems would be solved just if I just learned Japanese. I wouldn't have to need subtitles. Throw away those subtitles. I don't need them anymore. I know Japanese now. Can you imagine if life was like the Matrix, where it just like you download it into your brain, and then it's just like after like a minute, it's like I know Japanese now, and all I use it is so I can play video games without needing English subtitles when I listen to it in Japanese. Sage insight, yeah, exactly. That's why dubs spend so long matching flaps. Yeah, that is like one thing that I have heard is like they try to match the the lips, like the dialogue English translation to the lip sync that's matched to Japanese. And I feel like in a way I feel like I'd rather have like maybe more accurate translation rather than the, I don't know, the a little bit of scuffed dialogue kind of thing. Part of me was also like, maybe what if we just had the English translation match closer to English writing kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe they have tried it and maybe it doesn't work. Who knows? But it's like a whole, I know it's a whole rabbit hole. It's like a whole thing because it's tricky, and like budgeting is also a whole thing too with Japanese dub or English dub and everything. So yeah, I get it. It's like a whole thing. Oh yeah, the whole yeah, I guess that is true. The whole mouth stopping would be a pretty big, that would really take you out. Yeah, that's true. I got eraser shavings all over my bed again. Yeah, well, wait, are you drawing on your bed? You know, I used to draw on my bed. You know what helps with that? Don't use an eraser, use a kneading eraser. So whenever I draw on my bed, I just use a kneading eraser instead of a normal, like, what like a normal eraser, I guess. I was gonna say a gum eraser. Le gomme. I should invest in one. I mean, they're not that expensive. They're like $2 or $3, I think, for a kneading eraser. Just save up 4 quarters. I think it'll be manageable. What's American Dragon? I've never watched American Dragon before. American Dragon. What is this? Oh, this thing. Oh yeah, my character does kind of look a little bit like American Dragon. That was not intentional. I did not do that intentionally. I also never watched it, so I did watch, you know what I did watch? I watched the Jackie Chan animated series. That was like a fun one. Didn't watch a lot of it just because it was so early in the morning, so I could never catch that. But not in this economy. Can't spare 4 quarters. I guess that's true. It is hard sparing 4 quarters. 4 quarters, and what's the Abraham Lincoln line again? 4 scores and 7 something. I have a sheltered childhood, but I know what Tintin is. Tintin is wholesome, that's why. I guess, you know, I know Tintin because it's everybody's grandma knows Tintin. It's like, oh yeah, Tintin, you can watch Tintin. The character looks more like an adult show and more realistic. Yeah, I feel like it's been morphing the more I draw draw it. 4 quarters, and is that I guess that would be really close to number 2, so let's just write and then this would be is that, like when I look in the mirror and I say is that, like the mouth opens but the shape is kind of close. So like the mouth shape itself is very close. So I feel like is that can be close to what I have for number 2. Is that a ghost? Okay. Is that a... We can have one mouth movement open, I guess. Is that a... One score in 20 years? Yeah, maybe. I guess this is the same. I'm gonna... Is that... This one, the head might move a little lower, actually. So let's move the head a little lower. Is that... And I keep giving him a more and more square jaw, I feel like. Not intentionally doing that, it's just... I rarely draw characters that are on the younger side. Like, most of my characters are, like, I guess closer to my age, maybe that's why. But, so, drawing, like, characters in, like, maybe their middle school or high school is a little, like, it's, like, not really my go-to, so it's a little different. Is that a... And then I guess then is that a... The eyebrows would move back to a normal angle. And the eyes would be like... Is that a... Go? And then the go maybe be like here. Yeah, his face shape is also changing a little bit, so... But it's okay, because we're just planning. We're just planning. So I'm gonna move the eyebrows a bit higher. Move it like here. Is that a ghost? Is that a ghost? Anybody gonna watch the new Ghostbuster movie? I haven't even watched the remake. 87. Yeah. Now everybody's like saying 4 scores 7 years ago. Yeah. Is that a ghost? I feel like I should still have maybe like one eyebrow down, just slightly, just so that it keeps that inquisiting kind of like, is that a ghost? Is that a ghost? Is that a... And I think I'm gonna have to make his chin less. Take that cleft away. That cleft is making him look too old. Is that a... is like an old... Is that a... Let's see, how did I draw the hair? I'm just gonna simplify the hair to like a shape, so it's easier to draw. Is that a... Is that a ghost? Yeah, this is why I'm like, I don't know about the next part where I'm gonna have to play the audio, because you guys are just gonna hear my voice just constantly saying, is that a ghost? Is that a... is... And it's just gonna be like going back and forth too. It won't be like perfectly run through. It'll be like, is that a ghost? And it's gonna be like driving the chat crazy, because you guys are just gonna hear me going, is that a ghost, over and over again. I mean, I'm already doing it now, and you guys are like, please stop. I don't want to hear is that a ghost ever again. I don't want to hear it. Maybe I'll keep the audio off for my desktop so we don't hear it. And then at the end, once we kind of finalize it, then I can maybe play it so you can hear the whole audio syncing up with the dialogue and everything. Is that a ghost? And then I think I'm gonna flip his hand so he's pointing. Is that a ghost? Something like this, maybe. Like, is that a ghost? And we gotta add some folds here so it's clear that it's a fold. Yeah, something like that. Ah, is that a ghost? Go. Oh, okay. So this would just be maybe go. Is that a? Is that a go? This would be a go. Because then we have to transition to our last main mouth movement, which is the ooh sound. Yeah. Lincoln's time period, I wouldn't have spent half the time understanding what they're talking. It's like, I feel like that's how it feels studying Shakespeare. It's just like it takes you like 10 minutes to read like one page because you're just trying to decipher what anyone is saying. We must not play ghostly tunes. You'll see a lot more frames in frame 2. Yes. Yeah, Kevin, yeah, that's the goal hopefully. Add a says ghost counter. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? It's just like it's gonna be like 50. It's gonna be like more than like 100 probably of just me going. Is that a ghost? Is that a go a ghost? So this is the line. Is that a ghost? Is that a go? And then this is even lower. Gonna have the head. Keep having to shrink this down. You know, I'm just gonna paste this on another layer. I'm gonna move that. And we're gonna shrink this so we have a little bit of space for the last pose. But that's not too bad. I would say this is looking pretty good. It's time to... Oh my goodness, it is. Oh, that could have been a thing. That could have been a thing that I suggested in the poll. It's time to duel. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? That would have been so hard to do. I don't know if I'd be able to pull that off. It's time to duel. Man, whoever came up with that theme song in the 2000s, that's just that they just hit differently, you know. They're just different. Also theme songs, I feel like there's not that many theme songs anymore, like with singing especially. I want them to bring back like openers western shows with openers with like an actual song. You know, when Young Justice, they didn't put a theme song to it. Like, oh man, like it'd been so nice if Young Justice had some kind of opener. That would have been awesome. I never got into Spectacular Spider-Man, unfortunately. But I hear good things. I hear people love the animated Spider-Man like show. Is that a go? Okay, maybe his mouth wouldn't be opening that much. It deserves. Young Justice was so good. Oh my goodness, it was so good. Wait, Kevin, have you watched the new season? Because I keep hearing mixed things about it. I feel like some people said it wasn't that good, and then some people were like, yeah, it's okay, it's not bad. But because I haven't seen it, just because I don't even know if we are able to watch it like officially, I should say. Because like usually for us it's like on Crave if you want to watch anything from like HBO. And the fact that they put it only on what is it, that DC app, I was like, why you only lock it to the DC app, and DC app you can only watch it in America. And I'm like, why you do this? Is it, can we even watch it like officially? It's so weird because like their whole thing of like why they canceled it is because nobody watched it. So then why did you end up limiting where people can watch it? That doesn't make any sense. What? Is that a ghost? I'm gonna have it squinting a little bit. I feel like I did pretty good on the is the key number 3. I feel like that one turned out pretty good. Oh, it's on Crave? No way. Teen Titans was so good. Teen Titans and Kim Possible. You know, because I never grew up watching Kim Possible, I had to watch that off all of YouTube. And it was kind of janky because like some channels just wouldn't have all the episodes because, you know, can't let you have all the episodes on YouTube to watch for free. And I ended up watching it on during high school, and I was like, man, this is a perfect show to watch to close off high school, because the series ends with them graduating. And I was like, man, wow, I couldn't have timed that perfectly, more perfect. Okay, oh, you know what's even crazier? No, so Kim Possible in 16, I finished those in high school, and then Gilmore Girls. Yes, I watched Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls. I watched Gilmore Girls in university, and that was timed perfectly because Rory graduates at the end of the series. And I was like, wow, this is also timed perfectly with me in high school. Wow, who would have known? Hello, Hellmouth. Glad you could join us. You're kind of catching us near the end. Obviously, we still have about like half an hour. But, yeah, we're kind of finishing up at least the blocking and just like exploration of these poses, seeing how it should be. I think this one I could push the head pose even more. Maybe have it be close, the head be closer to the edge of the body. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Yeah. Wait, what? Can you put stickers? I mean, I don't have any stickers on my tablet. I feel like that'd be a little bit hard to draw on, but you know, you do you, you know, you put whatever stickers you want on your on your tablet. What do I only put stickers on my my scanner and my desktop. That's where I put them. That's it. I have yet to play Spider-Man 2 though, but I don't know if I will. Honestly, I don't know if I will, because I thought the first game was good, but I didn't like love it, just because I'm not a fan of like the whole collectathon open world kind of thing. But yeah, so I don't know if I'll play Spider-Man 2, but I'll watch somebody play it. Kim graduated like Kim Possible cartoon. Okay, yeah, I did. I totally got in a car and I flew into the sunset, man, while having a beach party with my friends in high school. Yeah, that is exactly how my high school life went. Yeah, Gilmore Girls is so good. It's not for everyone because it's a very long show and it goes on forever, but yeah, it's pretty good. I love Gilmore Girls. John Possible. Oh my goodness. Oh, what did my name? Oh my! If only my name was like John, right? John Possible. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Helmuth. Hope you're enjoying it. I know that you might be a little bit confused since you just dropped in. You're like, what is happening right now? But yeah. On the back, I guess I could put it on the back, but I feel like that's kind of like a waste, you know? Like, I'm not gonna see it. I want to be able to kind of see my stickers that I put on it, you know. Josh Possible, it's a great name. Injoshable. Oh my, oh lordy, oh boy. Okay, so I think this is pretty good. I think what I'm gonna do now is maybe refine the drawings, but then this time actually animate it. So I'm gonna take this away And I'm just gonna maybe cut these out. Yeah, I know. It's a little like, wait, why did I do it this way? Don't judge. It is the way that it is. We don't question how we do things here, but you know. We got another part, so that's why I was like taking it a little bit more chill this time, you know. Like, you know, if we make mistakes, it's all good. It's all good. You know. Who says it has to be perfect, you know? So yeah. Hold up. Let me see. Yeah, it's at 1. Okay. Trust the process. Yeah. The process. Trusted. Okay. We're gonna take this and I'm just gonna quickly rough it out. Since we got a lot of space here and it's literally just him talking, I think we can really take advantage of the spacing and how much space we have to do this. So I'm gonna put it here and I'm pretty sure this saves the image. Yeah. So I think we should be good. And I'm just gonna readjust it so that it kind of lines up and everything. I know this is not the most like smartest way of approaching it, but you know, we'll make do. We'll make do. And let's see, we're gonna just lower the opacity by a lot so that I can draw on it and change my brush. Yeah. Lord have mercy. Yeah, Josh, what was it? Injoshable. That's a funny one, man. We aim for good, pretty good. We aim for pretty good. We aim for that's all right. That's all right. Yeah. Okay, so this one, actually maybe I'll just keep this brush, but we'll make it a bit bigger. This one's gonna be kind of interesting just because the head shape. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna go into the detail or clean too much of it, because obviously when I drew the 4, I drew them with slightly different proportions. So I think what I'm gonna just try to get down is the head shape, so the mannequin head shape, and the positioning of the body and everything. And I think that's what I'm just gonna try to hone in for the most part. Yes, this is not the best way to do it, but I did it this way just so that you guys could see all the breakdowns of all of them together, side by side. But yes, this is not the most ideal way to do it. If I were to animate this, yes, it would be animated as we usually do it. But this is so that you guys can see it, you know? And we're also going to be maybe like changing it over time too. You never know. The great thing about animation is that it's flexible. You never know what you might like or what you might not like. And be like, okay, let's see what happens if we change this, if we change that, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's part of the aspect of animation where you're just like, how's it gonna go? How's it all gonna like come together and everything? So and again, I'm just gonna simply put in where things might be. I'm gonna put the finger here. It's maybe doing a little bit of a interesting hand movement. Finger probably wouldn't be doing that. We'll just keep it safe. Keep it secret. You know, keep it safe, you know. Thumb might be somewhere there. Just look at The Simpsons. Yeah, exactly. You know, that's what I love about anime and manga too, is just like seeing the change over time. Seeing how it all kind of just, the artist's artwork just like adjusting. And yeah, we're gonna cheat a little bit. We're gonna just readjust the size. Just a bit. And yeah, we're gonna have to do a lot of adjusting here, but you know. Hey, thanks Shira. Thanks for joining us. And oh, yeah. Just gonna. This is the cleanup process. You guys all know, you know, where I'll try to keep an eye on chat and try to talk as well, because usually this is the part where it gets like locked in and everything. So going to try to balance the both, but animating takes so much just focus. It is hard. It is hard to talk and look at chat and animate at the same time. So I will do my best. Let's see. He's moving down, so yeah, the hair should go something like this. And this is why I also wanted to make the hair shape into one single shape, just so that it's easier to keep track of. And yes, even though it's complicated and I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be, I'm trying to oh, actually this head, I think I wanted it to move forward, actually, now that I think about it, because he's going like he's like is, and then he sticks the head out. So yes, should be somewhere here actually, and it'd be like, is that a ghost? And we're gonna follow the green lines. So I used the underdrawing to get an idea as to how it might be, but we're gonna use the green one, and we're gonna be following that one instead. So yeah. And let's say this one pushes the cloth up a little bit. And maybe we'll keep the eyebrows in just so that it's somewhat trackable. And like the mouth, roughly. Mouth shape. And he's leaning forward, and I think I brought up his... Oh, he's lowering his arm. Okay, so we're going to lower the arm, and the body is going to come forward now. And I think I'm going to make the hand lean back just a little bit. It's coming this way. So, yeah, it is a little bit of like adjusting and improvising. There's no like surefire way, because you just never know like what might adjust and everything. That's why I'm here. Yeah, Kevin. Helping out with the chat. Yeah, keeping up with it. Thanks so much. Oh, that's true. Yeah, like when you consider where we started from with like the whole asking chat, like, okay, how do you want the design of the character to be, to like where it is now? Yeah, it's kind of cool. And I feel like that's kind of like what happens when you go into like animation and character design, is just like seeing that evolution and change and everything. So yeah. Okay, this one, yeah, definitely changed too much. I think the head motion is there. Let me see. You know what? I'm gonna readjust the body, because this one, he should be leaning forwards. So, I guess it's like this. And then this one, yeah, the pivoting of the body should be more. So I think I'm actually gonna lean the body out. I might rotate it a little bit, because when you lean forward your head, you're not just leaning your head out, but you're also leaning the body. The body has to kind of tilt forwards. So yeah. Actually, we're gonna move this even more, just so that we have a good altering of pose. So what I'm doing here is like I'm trying to figure out where his center of gravity is, like where is the body pivoting from, and because that's going to be a important part in order to like animate it and make it like work. you can't, especially for like big body movements, you're gonna have to keep track of like where the center of gravity is and where's that point really moving from. And in this case, it's the waist. In order to lean forward and just the head, it's like the head tilting forward, but then the body also guiding it in front. So yeah, just gonna save. And yeah, and actually, you know what, the hand also kind of works too. So yeah. Hey Kiki. Hey, hello. Oh. Hey Peppermint. Learning and having fun is the best thing ever. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Glad you're. I don't know if anybody else is also like drawing or animating alongside me. Like you can be doing your own thing. It doesn't have to be animating, but yeah, it'd be cool to see if other people are doing stuff too, or if just to know if other people are doing stuff as well. Kind of cool. Okay, now we're gonna go to the third one, and yeah, that is huge. I'm gonna have to really shrink this down. This one, I believe, the head is in the same position. I think I was just changing the angle of it. So the great thing about this is that I can just move and transform it afterwards. So we're gonna stick to the head size, kind of, but obviously the expression's changed. Is that what did I say? Is that a... Oh, okay, so the head is coming forwards just a little bit more. I guess I should move this. Let me move it. It should be down a little bit. And yes, if you're just joining us and you're like, this is the most inefficient way of doing it, yeah, it is, I know. But there were reasons. There were reasons. If you know if you missed out on the reasons, you can watch our VOD. Was that smooth, Kevin? I feel like that was not too bad. That was all right. Much as so I can start my VTuber mod. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. You know what's cool is like yesterday I went to Comic-Con, or at least it's Canadian Comic-Con. So it's really more just like a small little convention, but honestly it wasn't too bad. I haven't been to a Comic-Con or like some kind of nerd con, I guess in some way, since 2013, I think. So it's been a while since I've been to a like conference for like nerds and everything. It was pretty cool going to one. What, you went to a con? Yeah, I went to a con yesterday. Yeah. It was not bad. A lot of great art. Saw some like awesome cosplaying action going on. So that was really cool. Yo, also, there was this massive dude in a Batman costume, and he was like 6'5" or something. And then I was like looking at my friend like, yo, if Batman was legitimately 6'5" and I saw that Batman that large coming towards me down like a dark alleyway, I'd be like, yeah, it's okay. I give up. I'm not gonna try to fight Batman. If he's like a 6'5", like holy, it was huge. I'm like, I'm not taking that down. I'm not gonna try to fight that. What did I do? To be honest, not much, just because it really is like a place for like vendors and artist alleys. So like a lot of people selling their artwork, their art pieces. Some people were kind of sharing their comics that they've made, which was really cool. What else? Oh, there were artists there. So this part is like one part I'm not too sure about, but I think the artist for Invincible was there. I'm not too sure which artist because I didn't look it up just yet, but I think he either worked on the show or he worked on the comic, so that was kind of cool. And I think there was like artists who worked on the original like X-Men animated shows, and like other people who are like making their own comics and everything were there. So yeah, it was pretty neat. Um, but yeah, it was really crowded. Way more crowded than I thought it would be. But again, maybe it's just because I haven't been to a con in so long that I didn't realize how busy and packed it would be. You know, yeah, yeah. Like I'm like, okay, if a 5'10" Batman came down at me at a hallway, yeah, I'd still be scared. But like when you see a 6'5" Batman, that it's different because you're just like, holy, okay. It's, you know, it changes your perspective on just like how menacing Batman could be if you saw someone that big in a giant tank armor suit in a cape coming down towards you. It's like, yeah, it's I don't want to go up against that, you know. True, yeah, exactly. You know, it's scary. But yeah, no, there was a lot of cool stuff. My friend cosplayed as Mashal. I never watched Mashal, but he got a pretty solid cosplay. I mean, it's pretty simple. He just had like a long robe, like a black robe, and he had he had some contact lenses on, and what else do you have? Oh yeah, he had the lightning bolt thing just drawn on his face. So his cosplay was really simple, but it's still really good. A lot of people asked him for photos, and they were like, "Can you do a dance with us or some kind of thing?" I'm guessing for like TikTok. A lot of people were doing TikToks. They would just like find a wall and just prop their camera up and just start dancing. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of neat. I've never seen that in cons before, but I guess that makes sense since the last con I went to was 2012, so you know the way things people do at cons are different. Okay, I think I want the head to just maybe go out just a little bit more. Okay. Let's see what that does. Yeah, obviously also made the height of the hoodie different, but you know what? That's okay. I feel like, you know, maybe this arm could be a little bit higher for the ah. I think originally the first breakdown I was like, you know, maybe we'll make it a little lower, but I think it makes more sense. There's a bigger change if I have it be like higher. So we'll have it be somewhere around here. So yeah, yeah, that looks better. Bigger change. Big change. Anybody know where that's from? Oh yeah, big change. As an art instructor, what would I wear? Just, I mean, I did go in my everyday clothing, so I guess in a way that is what I cosplayed as. I got rid of TikTok. The average feed annoyed you. I've never used TikTok, so I don't even know what's on there, to be fair. But that's cool. Felt the need to get rid of it. I mean, it makes sense. I guess it's not for everyone. Like, my friend does not have any social media, and I'm like, but that's where I post things, you know? How are you gonna be updated on like what's happening in my life? You know? if you don't see my social media. But that's makes sense, I think. Maybe here. I think the arm might be a bit too short. Oh man, I'm so happy that animation can be done digitally now, because oh my goodness. Can you imagine if I didn't have the lasso tool and this was like traditional and just be like, yeah, oh, I got the arm size wrong, let me just erase it and redraw the whole thing again. This is the new world. I did not cosplay. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I did not have enough time to set up a cosplay and everything, so yeah. Reddit? Yeah, yeah. Paper from the 1940s. Yeah, paper technology has really changed things, you know. Paper, guys, let me tell you about paper technology. Dunder Mifflin has really changed the way paper gets around. Before Dunder Mifflin, animating was so hard. Cell shaded. Yeah, like you go back to the what is it, the old animators, and like how it's like, oh, one guy does the drawing, another person does the coloring, and it's just like, oh my goodness, how'd you guys do this? It's crazy. Paper is the cool new product. I mean, you know what? In some way, you know, with the oncoming like AI and everything, I was reading a breakdown about Dune, and apparently it's about how Dune is the rejection of AI and how it's supposed to be kind of furthering human kind of like deduction and thinking, like self-thinking, thinking for yourself kind of thing. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like really topical, but I feel like nobody knows that that's what Dune is about. Uh, but I thought it was kind of like, you know, topical just because of like the whole AI thing happening, and then Dune is supposedly about technology getting so good, but to the point where people actually reject technology in some sense. And I was like, wow, what a way to come full circle, Frank Herbert. You know, we used AI to make Dune, and Dune is about the rejection and the pursuit of human achievement. Yeah, that would be kind of ironic. I sure didn't know, but also haven't seen. Have you not seen the? Have you seen the first one at least, Kevin? Or you only just, or you just haven't seen the second one? This is good. It is good. I think you should go see it. It is so good. Let me see. Yeah, as you can see, I constantly just drew him larger and larger with every new image. So I'm just trying to align it because I think, is that a go? I actually think this one should be the one where he sticks his head out the furthest. So we're gonna put it like right over here. It's gonna be a little bit hard to see, but should be okay. Wait, what? Really? You didn't know it was a thing? That's crazy to me. That's crazy. It was like such a huge phenomenon when the first one came out. I'm surprised it was like not on your radar to go see it. I feel like everybody went to go see it, but I think you should. I mean, if you're down to go like to the movie theaters and watch a movie, I think it's worth it to go see. How do people do perfect lines for animation? A little bit of practice, you know. And not getting too afraid. I feel like for me, I had the same thing too, where it was just like, oh my goodness, perfect lines. But I think just ease up, don't think too much about it, or at least this is how I went about it, because I know that everybody has a different kind of maybe like, let's say, issues, just to broadly speak, or to go about it, is like everybody has a different way of drawing, and everybody's gonna have a different I guess obstacle in terms of like doing line work. Why am I drawing the eye? I don't have to draw the eye, but whatever. I guess we're drawing the eye now. Is that a go? Go? Oh wait, this is supposed to be like pursed, so I think it should be like closer to here actually. Is that a ghost? But I also think like thinking about where your line needs to go also helps. So thinking a little bit ahead and being like, okay, my line needs to go from point A to point B. And you just kind of, for me, I like to look at where my pen needs to go versus looking at my line constantly. So I'll be like, okay, if it needs to go from here to here, my eye is looking here, and I'm using my peripheral to guide my hand there. Is the line gonna be like pinpoint perfect? Not exactly. I just realized also this looks like the Death Stranding little reader thing. But yeah. But yeah, like I feel like, you know, knowing where your line needs to go kind of helps. But again, depends on like why you struggle with drawing lines. If you're doing this, obviously don't do that. That's kind of like the starter advice. Try to start practicing drawing with your whole arm, going in one sweeping motion, and have an idea as to where you want the line to go. Don't get too caught up on like just looking at your eye, at your line and your stylus and like following it, because then you'll second guess every movement that you make. But instead, have a goal and just like follow through with it, you know, and then use your whole entire arm, kind of thing. And you know, sometimes I know that a lot of digital artists, you'll see them drawing really quickly, like, and then they'll like undo, draw it again, undo, draw it again. I usually try not to do that too much, but instead, like, sometimes you don't even have to go fast. You can go slow too. Don't put too much pressure on your stylus and just draw kind of smoothly or as slowly as you need to. And use your whole arm. I think that's like the biggest tip is like use your whole arm. Don't use your fingers. Don't use your wrist. Even when I'm drawing digitally on my tablet's not that big. It's like, I think 15, 13 inches. It's not like, you know, Ross draws where his tablet, it looks like it's like 30, it's like a 30-inch monitor tablet. Mine's not that big. But even though mine's only like 13, like the screen size is only 13, I still use my whole entire arm. So I would say like that's also my other big takeaway as well, is that get familiar with drawing with your whole arm. One, it's good for your wrist. You can get away from carpal tunnel syndrome. You will make it easier on your fingers and your wrist. There's less pressure there. But yeah, I know drawing straight lines is like this whole thing, but it's more just about having good drawing habits, and then over time your hand and your eye will kind of get familiar with it, and you'll just get used to how it should be drawing. And obviously this right now it's like rough, and so I'm not worrying too much about how clean or how proper my lines are looking. But when we get into like the cleanup, yeah, then I do put a little bit more effort into making sure that the line work looks clean and proper. So yeah, I know we are coming close to the end, so just a little bit of a wrap up just to remind everybody else, or everybody that's here, that thank you for joining us. We're not quite done yet, but I'm just gonna go over the stuff that we usually say before we like officially close out, and then I'll show everybody how this all looks, and hopefully it looks good. I think it's turned out not too bad, considering I only started doing this like 40 minutes in, I think. So yeah, but if you guys don't know who we are Wing Canvas, and yes, you probably found out about us through our YouTube channel and our videos, and probably, of course, our live stream, but we're also an art school where we provide classes, and whether it's like in person or online. And when I say in person, it's like the virtual in person where you get to sit in. It's a great way to get feedback from one of our amazing teachers. We both teach traditionally and digitally, both in painting and drawing. So if any of those classes sound good to you, definitely check out our online classes. We have a good variety and selection, and classes are limited as well. So the spring term, I believe, has just started, so definitely check out our classes if any of those sound interesting to you, or if you want to just improve your art skills and your drawing capabilities, I do teach the animation, the drawing foundation, as well as a painting mentorship. So yeah, definitely check those out. We also have other teachers as well who might fit your different types of, maybe, I don't know, learning approach. But yeah, we're an online school. We're at wingcanvas.com, so definitely check us out if you want to check out our different classes. Actually, as I have this thing rolling, maybe I'll have it animating. Let's see, we'll put it on 4s just so that it's easier to space it out, and I'm gonna save it. I also don't know if this is gonna look good. We'll see. Maybe as I play it, it'll look kind of janky. Whoops. Just gonna clear the cache, because sometimes Krita can be like that. Be a little weird. Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. But yeah, if you enjoyed the stream and you enjoy what we do, definitely give us a like and a subscribe. This is a great way to know what's coming up next in terms of also our videos and our streams. And on Tuesday, one of our, I believe it's one of my streams, have been cut up and edited, and it's the creator character design beginner steps. So if you missed that stream and you want a more like maybe condensed version of it, I believe that video is coming out on Tuesday, and I will be there. So if you want to join me as that video premieres, definitely join us on Tuesday. That video will be going live, and yeah, we can all kind of check it out together as a community. And don't forget that we also have a Patreon. So if you want to continue, if you want to like support us further, we do have Patreon with different tiers. So if you want to maybe get like emotes, class recordings, working files, definitely check out our different tiers on Patreon, because who knows, you might get maybe one of my classes and you might learn something new. And also check us out on social media. We're on Discord, Instagram, and Facebook, as well as TikTok. We post a lot of our pieces there. So a lot of the drawings that we finish on stream, as well as sometimes the pieces we do in class, they do get posted onto Instagram and just social media in general. This way you get a look at it without all this kind of clutter around my screen or around my monitor, and you can like zoom in and really take a look at it. Especially it'd be great for like Jesse's and maybe even Faye, because Faye does like the paintings and the drawings, and you get to really see the textures that you might not be able to quite see on the screen just because we're zooming in and out and we're moving around and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, check us out on social media, and I believe that is it. So this is what we have right here. I have four frames, and they're all like the key frames, so maybe instead of playing it, I'll just flip through it. And it doesn't look too bad, but this one is more on the facial expressions, and obviously I haven't gone to the facial expressions yet. But next stream is going to be okay, well, not the next stream, but this is part 1. Part 2 is coming down the line. Let's see, when is it? When is part 2? Kevin, do you know off the top of your head when part 2 is? Let's see, part 2, not too sure. Let's just check. Give me a sec, guys. Just want to take a look. Part 2 is April 14th. It's quite a ways down the line, but we will be continuing this. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. Sometime in the future. yeah, it'll be in April, it seems. Yeah, it's gonna be quite a whiles away, but we are gonna be basically tightening up and cleaning this up. Hopefully cleaning up the poses for the key poses, so these ones, and also adding the facial features, making it cleaned up, and then also maybe adding some in between. So maybe not like all, because that's like 9 drawings that I would have to draw, figure out, and clean up, but maybe we'll just try to aim for 3 in betweens, just so that we can get it all moving. And I might adjust some of, especially like the last pose, because the last pose he kind of just stays in the same spot, and I think I want him to move, maybe arch his body forward just a little bit more. So yeah. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. It was great having you all here, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna end it soon, but I'm just gonna maybe move this back and shrink it so you can see what we're basing it on. Something like this. Maybe I'll close it, and where's the mouth movements? Yeah. So this is what we were doing. It's over here. And then this one is what we're using to help guide the mouth movements. So it's kind of interesting because this is where we started off, the whole mouth shapes. And then this one is where we use these mouth shapes to help guide how the performance is going to be. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Part 2 is going to be interesting. Thank you everybody for joining us. See you in a few weeks. But yes, next week is going to be Iggy, or next Sunday is going to be Iggy. So yeah. Thank you everybody for joining us. Bye. Hope you have a good rest of your Sunday. Bye-bye.